Coming in at 5 years old, the one Battlefield was released only for the consoles. This was available on the Xbox 360 and on the PS3 from June of 2009. Ladies and gents, I give to you Battlefield 1943 got released in June 2009 and it was only available for the PS3 and for the Xbox. Now, after the huge success that DICE have had with 1942, with Battlefield 2 and a load of expansions and a load of DLCs, it was only natural for them to move to the console market and give us another game, a one-off game for the consoles only, and this was it, 1943. It was just amazing when it came out. It was 2009. There were great games out, but there was nothing like Battlefield 1943. The colors, everything just spoke to, everything was just nicely done. It was well thought of. It was just presented in such a nice manner that you could not want to buy a AAA game for $15. I mean, this was $14.99 and you would get in everything you could possibly wish of a multiplayer game for that one payment of $14.99. A lot of us have played it. I remember back in the day when it was actually released, so many friends of mine were playing the game and was having just so much fun. Obviously, we never clocked in the hours that we do these days, but back in those days, it was just all about experiencing the new and the exciting new stuff that were coming out. And 2009 was one of those years where we did see some really new cool stuff coming out, and it was time for DICE to do something for the console market, and it worked for them. My only regret is that it never came out to the PC, even though there was rumors back a year later. I mean, this was the best-selling game for the PS3 and for the Xbox when it come down to a downloadable content, but there was lots of rumors flying about that EA were actually going to publish this on the PC, so we get to play on the PC. There was a lot of rumors flying around. It's coming. All the big news game news sites and everything was really boasting that this is coming out for the PC and we should just wait for it, it's coming, and then it never came. Then it was coming again. Then it's just one of those things. The Battlefield 1943, even though it's 5 years since I've purchased this game off of the PS Store, I'm still playing it and there's still servers for you to play. Now, you cannot choose your own server, what you play or how you choose to play, because there is no such thing as an option for those of you wondering. Back in those days, you'd go and join a quick match and that was it when it come down to 1943. You still had the option of playing the Coral Sea, which is the air superiority, but when it came down to the game, it was basically the US Marine Corps versus the Japanese Imperial Army. You had Guadalcanal, you had Iwo Jima, and you had Wake Island, and obviously you had the Coral Sea for the air superiority, and that was pretty much it. It only came with a limited amount of maps, but still, for the price of $14.99, I really thought that was a good deal back those. And I believe that a year later, or 2 years later, when Bad Company 2 got released in March of 2010, this came bundled with, either with Vietnam or maybe with Onslaught or something like that. I remember one of those having this as a bundle. So if you bought this, if you purchased this, you'd get 1943 for free. So that was something that DICE should be doing a lot more of these days, because I think having some older Battlefield games just for us to try out, if you're new to the series and you've not played anything like that, then maybe you should give the old Battlefield games a whirl, see what you think of them. But I still think some of the older Battlefield games are some of the best Battlefield games there ever was. 1943 in particular, it's just proof of that. I mean, if you look at the game, it still looks good now, even though it's 5 years old. And you look at Bad Company 2, again, that's a great looking game, and Bad Company 2 is going to live in the memory of a lot of people being one of the most fun Battlefield games there ever was. But when it comes down to 1943, it still looks good now. Obviously, some of the things are not as good as they are today. I mean, if you look at the sniping here, it's just, yeah, it's just not as good as anything there is today. There is no 360 no scopes and all of that, but you had to be a really patient sniper back in those days in order for you to do any damage. You can see I can barely see that guy inside there, but boom, get a shot on him, and I managed to get a headshot. So it was definitely some of those moments that were really satisfying back in those days when you had to take a really difficult shot to actually take somebody out. The tanks, they barely had any traction. Same thing with the transport vehicles. You could barely climb up the hill in one of these. Either you had to take a good run at it and get some speed in order for you to climb it. Otherwise, you get about halfway up the hill and you think, ah shit, come on boys, we're walking. But one of the other things that 1943 added was the destruction. There was destruction obviously in 1942 and Battlefield 2, but I remember in Battlefield 2, bumping with your car into anything used to take damage, and nothing used to almost break in that game. There was some things that obviously you could break, but nowhere near as much as you have in 1943. If I look really close at today's game, which is Battlefield 4, and it's been obviously redone 100 times better than these games when it comes down to graphics, performance, weapons, customization, and so on and so forth. Gameplay, I'm not really so sure, but overall I think destruction is a major part when it comes down to a Battlefield game, and they should be focusing more on that and adding some more fun to the Battlefield games, because that's what we look for. I hope you guys have enjoyed the video. I will see you with some more older Battlefield games in the next ones. That's it for me for today. Drop a comment. I'll see you in the next one. Out.